Nickel prices are killing Tesla, but not in the ways you think. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. There are a lot of different battery chemistries on the market, but nearly all of them use some amount of nickel. That's not a big deal, right? It's not like cobalt, which only comes from a few places, most of them in various states of near constant turmoil.
It's not like cobalt. Cobalt is not a rare earth material, but it's only in a couple of places, and both of them are
Not not friendly places.
And
Now, nickel is produced all over the world. A quick thank you to today's sponsor, My Second Channel. Yes, that's right. My Tesla Live is the second channel where you get all my live streams, the weekly Fast Charging with B&B podcast with co-host Bear from Bear's Workshop, and a ton of footage upcoming on my trip to Giga Texas for the grand opening. If I get inside, you're going to see it live on that channel, so go subscribe. Yes, head over to My Tesla Live to subscribe because it will really help me out, and everything up so far is still ad-free because, YouTube is just the worst, so link in the description. So let's talk dollars and cents, because yes, it would be nice to wean off nickel a tad. The shift to LFP batteries by Tesla and others makes this objective clear, but there are a lot of vehicles that still need nickel chemistry. The Made in China Model 3 SR Plus moved to LFP batteries last year, since the juice-to-weight ratio was enough to make it work. With the patent expiring on that technology this year, US models are following suit. This chemistry can be a bit cheaper, since lithium is abundant in rocks and water and sands in countries all over the world, and the iron it uses is similarly affordable, abundant, and readily sourced from too many places to mention. Lithium iron phosphate is great because you can charge it from 0 to 100 to 0, and it's perfectly happy, while lithium ion and the like prefer that you stay in the 20 to 80% range for your state of charge. They aren't quite as energy dense, but for many applications they do just fine, and they provide more cycles in their total lifespan, which is also, great. You can't make a high-performance, high-drain vehicle like the Plaid or the Lucid Air with LFP batteries, though, nor any of the performance or long-range Tesla models today. That's also going to be true for the Cybertruck. Nickel prices hit their all-time high in 2007 at $52,000 a ton. Tesla was okay with that. Well, this week they hit a new high of well over $100,000 a ton, more than twice that price. Russia is among the world's leading producers of nickel, and the certainty and legality of that supply is now in question. But how much nickel does a Tesla even have? It's only about 45 kilograms, about 99 pounds. Like 5% of a ton. So those 99 pounds that cost $2,500 last month, well, they now cost $5,000. And that's just the battery. And that's just the beginning. So let's talk about the Cybertruck. Yeah, the battery for the Cybertruck will be bigger, and it will use more nickel. But that's not the issue. Yeah, twice the battery, twice the nickel, twice the cost, and twice the problems. But like I said, that's just the beginning. You see, stainless steel uses between 6% and 26% nickel, depending on the alloy. So if the folded origami shell weighs just 1,500 pounds, 680 kilograms, which is likely a very charitable assumption, that means the nickel content is between 90 and 390 pounds. That means the nickel needed for the shell of the Cybertruck, with prices at $100,000 a ton, would cost between $4,500 to $19,500. That's not the stainless steel entirely. No, that's just for this one single element used to forge that alloy. Well, what if the shell weighs more like 2,000 pounds or more? Well, add 33% or more to those costs. Only 6% of the global nickel supply goes into batteries, with 72% going into stainless steel. So what is the solution? Or is there even a solution on the horizon? Well, the good news is that even though Russia is the world's third largest nickel producer, they're awfully far out of the first place spot, producing only 11.2% of the world's nickel supply, behind Indonesia and the Philippines. New Caledonia produces almost as much nickel as Russia, and I'd be surprised if many people could even find that place on a map. I knew I couldn't before this video. I mean, I'd heard of it before, but only because Tesla entered into a long-term agreement to buy basically as much of it as they could produce. Wait, what? Yeah, Tesla was out ahead of this one. So the short answer solution is that the rest of the world's nickel producers just need to bump up their production by about 11% to replace 100% of Russia's production. Heck, just by Canada getting back up to their 2016 production levels could take up 10% of the slack created by the Russian shortfall. The slightly longer answer is that Russia will still be selling most, if not all, their nickel to someone, and it's a fungible commodity, meaning no matter who buys it from where, the price will normalize in other places. And the longest, coolest answer is that, at least for Tesla, it might not matter as much since they locked up their nickel contracts well before this Clustastra freak show kicked off. My question for you is if you think Tesla can still make some version of the Cybertruck for less than $50,000 in light of increased inflation and nickel prices, and in quantities greater than the fabled and elusive $35,000 Model 3, which some buyers did actually manage to get their hands on before it was promptly axed for good. So let me know in the comments. What will be the actual lowest price for the Cybertruck in quantities over, let's say, 10,000 units? So what did I miss or misunderstand? Leave me all your thoughts, your comments, and your blind and brilliance in them comments below. And while you're here, consider subscribing or following me on Twitter at 4K Podcast. I mean, it's free, it helps the channel, and it keeps you in the know. And a massive thank you to my Patreons who provide the majority of funding for this channel. They get early access, bonus content, an ad-free experience, and at the $10 level and above, they get to look at my 11-year production prediction model. If you've followed this channel for very long, you know my spreadsheets are the bee's knees. And if you've made it this far, consider smacking the thummy thing in either direction because, you know, why not? So stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots live from the Giga Texas grand opening event. Yes, my flight is booked. Yes, I'm going to be there. And no, I don't have a ticket. I mean, no one does as of this recording. What I have, though, is faith, confidence, and the ability to hold a piece of cardboard at the off-ramp begging for a +1. Isn't that enough? Well, we'll find out.